Hey, we're here with another episode of the Rock Fantasy Files, and I'm here with some good friends of Rock Fantasy, local band Mama Doom, local Hudson Valley. I guess also we're gonna say Doom again because they're a cult Doom, like rockers slash metal, and we're here to talk about your latest album, Ashbone, Skin and Stone, which is wow. I didn't redo the notes because I messed up now. Which is you guys got the date. It's on Majestic Mountain Records. You can pre-order it starting May 28th, but it's coming out in July, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, July 23rd.
Welcome to the show, guys. And
Thanks for having us.
what can you tell us about the new record? That's
Well, we're super excited. We spent the last year writing a ton of music, and thankfully, we were able to get into the studio in November. We put together 8 songs, new sound. So we ditched the guitars. Chuck's playing bass now. He used to play guitar in Mama Doom, and I picked up the keyboards. So we
right.
shopped it around, and Majestic Mountain Records, they dug it, and we're so excited that our stuff's going to be on vinyl this year, and we just put out a video. So we're just really excited. Very productive 12 months.
Yes, it has been.
Yeah, you were saying, of course, we've all been locked in our homes for the last 16 months or how long ever it's been, and you guys were doing a lot of the work. Like a lot of bands, a lot of artists were just stuck home doing a lot of work and a lot of creativity, trying to turn this time into something productive. And you guys wrote the album during the pandemic and all that, so right?
Yeah.
We wrote 2 albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got another album after this one ready to go. You've had so much time.
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, we really did. And like I said, our sound has totally changed. And before this, our last album came out in
18.
2018.
Yeah, so we haven't really had anything since. Mama Doom's been together since 2015, and we've had this ever revolving bass player. Just new members, that position just kind of rotating, and it's really just been like something moving on to different projects or moving away, and so we spent so much time just relearning old songs so that we could play shows, and it's been extremely frustrating.
We essentially wrote like 10 songs and then just spent the last 4 years just teaching those to new members.
Right. So we lost our rehearsal place back in 19,
yeah.
and we spent, we weren't really sure what we were going to be doing at that time. Our bass player had moved to Philadelphia.
Okay.
So we just started writing here at home, and
Yeah.
I pushed Chuck to play bass. He's him as a bass player, of course,
Sure.
from years of playing and music. And unfortunately, I met him as a guitar player. I never got the privilege of playing with him as a bass player. So it was always comical that we went through all of these multiple bass players when I'm sitting next to a bass player.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
I finally gave up and went back to playing bass.
I finally got him to come over to what I was hearing, and so we wrote this new album with Chuck playing bass, no guitars, and when we finally got in a room with our drummer, we were just so blown away by how it sounded, and we were nervous going into the studio, wanting to know how it sounded. And
yeah, because all we really had were crappy iPhone recordings of like
Yeah.
our practice, and we were just like, okay,
yeah,
let's
is it going to translate?
Is it going to translate? And it did, at least enough that we totally dig it, and
Yeah, it's different.
we can't wait to everybody to hear it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I checked out your video for Oh Lucifer
Thank you.
yesterday while getting ready to, of course, do the interview with you guys. And Chuck's been like telling me to watch it for weeks. And I'm like, yeah, I better do it now because I got to talk to you guys. So no, it was very cool. And where did you guys shoot that, and how'd that work out?
Friends of ours started a production company called Gratuitous Productions,
Okay.
And we shot over 2 days. The first day was shot at our rehearsal studio at Hodgepodge
Hodgepodge
in New
in
Windsor.
New Windsor, New
Hodge
York.
Podge.
And
Yeah.
then the second day, we actually filmed outside in Middletown. And
My
what's,
town.
yes, in your
In
town.
an undisclosed location.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't want to be affiliated with our satanic behavior.
So-
Aye, aye, aye.
But what was interesting about it is we actually filmed the first day back in February, I think it
beginning
was.
of February, yeah.
And then
Wow.
we got hit with that crazy like back-to-back snow events, and there was so much snow on the ground.
We couldn't
Yeah, we couldn't film
I see.
because we were going to be up in the woods, and there was so much snow on the ground, so we just had to wait for the snow to melt.
If we were a black metal band, it would have worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could have.
running through the woods.
In the snow.
But they're really talented. My girlfriend Anne, she did all the filming, and Dave made all of these like awesome masks and the Lucifer costume. They're so incredibly talented, and we're
Yeah.
actually meeting with them this weekend to talk about
Our
our
next
next
video.
video for
Yeah.
Oh,
another
great.
song. Yes.
So
What-
our
what-
videos are short horror films.
Yeah.
That's how
And I guess,
that's how we're doing
Steve,
it.
while hopefully we get some local people watching this,
Yeah.
I need to just make one plug about this video that's coming up. We're going to need people that are willing to show a little skin. We need 13 people, men and women, that are willing to maybe.
Get down to their skivvies and dance on the fire.
Yes.
Oh, really?
So if
I
you know
think
anybody.
I don't think I have quite the bod for that right now. And my skivvies, no. But
Yeah.
anyhow, yeah. Well, hey, get in touch with Mama Doom if you want to be in their next video. It sounds like it's going to be an exciting one. And what song are you doing the video for?
This one's going to be Blood Moon.
Blood Moon. So we got to make sure there's a full moon that night too, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
And,
Well, what's interesting is the day our video got released, there was actually a blood moon, and I was,
We had the wrong song.
We had the wrong song.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But that would have been a cool coincidence.
True. I think you've answered a couple of my questions. How long the band's been around? You kind of filled us in on that already. And plans for 2021. I think you did mention that you do have a gig scheduled later this summer.
Yes, in the first weekend in August, we're playing in Queens.
And what club is that, or what bar?
I
What a
don't know
spot.
the top of my head.
Okay.
Pick it up on the thing. That would probably be
Well,
important.
I'll get you the information. We can post that too.
Yeah. So
It'll be
anyhow, you go to their website or something. They'll fill you in if you guys
Yeah,
want to
it'll
check
be
them out later.
perfect.
I'm sure as things are opening up here, or here in the United States, we're shooting
Yeah,
this on June 7th, and we came from having to wear 2 masks and being locked in our homes pretty much during the winter, where the virus was very bad, to almost a 360, which is, to me, is it's amazing. And we're just moving into this where there's concerts at Bethel Woods, Jones Beach, giant stadium. All of a sudden, it's like a light switch was put on. So let's hope that the bus keeps rolling, and we're going to get all the bands and the roadies and the stage crews and everybody back to work here in the U.S. And this pandemic is going to be something we're looking back at.
I hope so.
So so Majestic Mountain Records, we were talking yesterday a little bit before we shot this video. We were talking a Majestic Mountain. I wasn't too familiar, but they're out of Sweden, Chuck had told me. And you share the label with another band that we were discussing. So maybe fill us in on that with Michael Stahn, of course, the great lead singer from Dark Tranquillity, has a project with you. It's on your label. It just came out.
Their other band is called Grand Cadaver, and you got to check them out, Steve. I know you.
Oh yeah.
So like old school, like just that awesome, like Swedish, like brutal death metal, like Entombed, like.
Oh wow! So it's more death metal than doomy stuff. Okay.
Yeah. That's why it's like classic, but it sounds fresh. So
I think he's one of the best frontmen and vocalists in the game in metal. Michael. I mean, of course, every year when that album was my I think number 2 album from last year for Dark Tranquillities.
Yeah,
And
they
very,
just won
very
the
passionate.
they just won the Swedish Grammy for
Swedish
that.
Grammy, wow.
Yeah. So congratulations.
There's no death metal bands winning Grammys in the U.S. Well, all we get here is modern, homogenized stuff on that stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
that's for sure.
so, what were some of your influences? I mean, of course, Chuck, you some of the local viewers are going to know is from a band called Dissolve that's been around for over 30 years, I believe. Now we were talking.
Yeah.
Hardcore out of New York, hardcore style band out of Poughkeepsie area. And what were some of your influences that got you into this scene, Chuck? And then I'll ask the same question to D.
I mean, just going back, I mean, we come from the same school of Maiden, Priest, Sabbath,
Mhm.
and then the progression to Metallica, Megadeth, to
The 80s.
Napalm Death, Carcass, and Tomb, and a gazillion bands in between that, but slowly stepping up through. But what's molded me, I think, into what we do now would probably be more like Typo Negative, Morphine,
Ooh, good one. Yeah.
Okay.
definitely Black Sabbath. Like that is kind of, I think, where our sound is, and I think there's even touches of maybe a little Maiden in there with like some bass breaks and
Mhm.
stuff, and just I don't know, maybe just
And we're all over the place.
yeah,
I mean,
we are all over the place.
my background was a little different. I'm a lot younger. Let's just put that out there.
Okay.
I grew up listening to more punk.
Okay.
So I like as in high school, I played in a punk band.
Oh, did you?
I listened to like Black Flag and Minor Threat and L7. I like that gritty vocal. But since I started playing with Chuck, I was more exploring my singing, and I was also influenced by like Fiona Apple. I like that, like just kind of laid back
Okay.
singing. So we had a lot of shared influences like Typo Negative, Life of Agony. I'm a huge Acid Bath fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Danzig, even Elvis. So.
Oh.
I think all of those different,
The Doors.
right? The Doors, yeah, all of those styles have influenced us with, and I think more than any other project that we've ever been in, this one really, I think, showcases what we really love. And I think,
Nice.
with Chuck playing bass and not having guitar, I mean, he's so influenced by, Peter Steele and even Morphine, because that's all bass driven.
Yeah.
And I love the bass. I mean, back in the day when we'd play, I used to always tell him, would you be quiet? Let the bass player do his thing. I want to sing for that. Like, stop noodling. So it's just fun now that I don't have to say that to him. It's just noodle away. I love it.
And I don't have to struggle to hear the bass.
Yeah, that's true. It's all bass.
Yeah, right. One interesting fact about this episode is that I bought a pinball machine from this couple back, and how many years ago was that? I purchased their.
It was.
I purchased their Adams Family pinball machine. I don't know if it. You guys have probably moved since then, but I remember going up to an apartment and getting that out of there. And I don't think it's the same Adams Family at Rock Fantasy now, but we still have one. But that's such a great game.
You sold the one we sold you, and then later purchased another one.
Another interesting fact in this episode is that Chuck had a record store at one time.
I did. Before it was cool, just like you.
Nice. And we still have a couple of the racks in my store from your old. And what was the name of that shop?
That shop was called Gumbos.
Gumbos, and that was over where? In Wappingers Falls, correct?
It was in Wappingers. It was a good idea in a bad location.
Okay. How many years ago was this, Chuck?
Jesus, that was like 94, 95, right?
Maybe. I mean, my memory's shot. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. It was.
I'm glad I remember. I just kind of remembered that now. The connection that you have,
Yeah.
we've had
Well,
a long-standing
that's
connection from back then.
yeah. That's how we met. It was like 25 years ago.
They were the white cases, white wall cases. I'm sure we still have a couple of them left. Yep, yep.
You do. You got the CDs and toys in them.
Some of the CDs and toys are in them still. Yep, yep. The small world here in the Hudson Valley and rock
It is.
fantasy, and it was an honor to have you guys come spend some time with the channel tonight. And
Thank you for
wish you
having
all the
me.
luck in the future. And everyone, please go out and support the band and go check out what's the website so they know.
MamaDoom.com.
And of course, you can pre-order this exciting new record and check out what they're doing and their history and photos and everything else. And hopefully, as things open up, you'll get some more gigs in the Hudson Valley and a chance will probably open up again soon. I heard they're opening up. I guess the dates are September. I saw that Frank Marino Mahogany Rush, or I think it's just Frank Marino now is playing there. Then I saw some dates for September. So I guess he's just waiting and have a little safe sea here to make sure everything is okay to open and they don't retract anything.
Right, right. That's why we're also with the one show that we have booked. We're just waiting to make sure. We're waiting for the beginning of July because that's when they're supposed to just green light everything. So
True. And of course, like me and Chuck were talking off the air, or like Guns N' Roses are playing and this one's playing, and they also mentioned, well, it didn't happen yet, but looks like
right. Like everything's getting booked, and let's hope. I mean, we haven't been doing a show in a long time.
We're 20 days away from the Orange County Fair Speedway concert series kicking off with Blackberry Smoke, and I think Tyler Bryant is opening up as a couple bands, and so we're getting pretty close to something starting to happen. So
Yeah.
But let's hope it all works out. You guys want to add anything else to the episode before we wrap it up?
No, just follow us on Instagram at Mama Doom Band, and that's when you'll see all of my banter and nonsense on there about what's to come.
Yeah, please do. Please take a minute to go over and like their channels and get on to check out their videos, and please take a second to subscribe to the Rock Fantasy Files channel and hit like and all that good stuff. And peace out, rock on, all that stuff. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.